Bruh.
Oh,
Cheers.
man, dude.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Yo, everybody, it's Yo Ride. So let's get to it. Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Ooh, yeah, we're back. Dan and I, the Fight Club of Pain. What is up, brother?
It's been a long day, bro. Long day.
Oh, and you know what didn't make it any better was the problems we had. Literally, we were going to go live a half hour ago, everybody. So as you all come in, get ready for the Fight Club of Pain, man. We're ready to bring the pain, right? I reset my computer, Windows updates, it's taken forever. Then I come back, and the minute I sit down and start loading up the website, literally your whole house loses power, comes back on, internet resets. This is the Thursday we're having, people, man. Bang! April 10th. But, man, do we have an amazing, amazing card to look at this week. Dan, what's the first thing you noticed while looking at it before you had to pick your jaw up off the ground?
Oh, man. Every fight on this card is crazy. The whole main card is nuts. Nuts.
I agree. And for once, as I had brought up in my review show earlier this week, these are actually fighters I know. So I haven't had to watch all of the tape that I normally had to do. Again, that's the promise I'm making to everybody, that I'm going to watch all the tape to make sure I get all these fighters right so that you are getting the best information from a fighter to other fighters and regular people. Yeah. Woo! So I hope everybody likes the background change up a little bit. We got the little countdown up there for UFC 314. And of course, the main event is Volkanovski versus Lopes. But man, we're going to talk about that. But first, let's catch up, man. Like you said, what do you want to do? You want to talk this whole card? You want to go over a little bit? I mean, we don't have to talk about everything. So just to get everybody out there before we get started, we will give away a free DFS lineup at the end of this podcast. Hell, I'll make one right now. If you guys got comments, throw them in. Ask us questions while we're live. Yeah. Because if you watch us when we're not live, we can't answer those questions.
Can't answer.
Dude. Got to go to the Subs Only Discord and join to actually get those questions answered, people.
I like this whole main card. Plus, I like the Jim Miller fight. Jim Miller versus Hooper, man.
That is. So we're going to actually throw in a couple other fights too, since we seem to be just going all over the cards and giving out and looking at mega bets. A lot of the things I actually just saw a bet that this literally it can't lose. There's no way it can lose. The only way you can lose, you're going to lose maybe 66% of the time, but I can guarantee the 33% of the time you will still cash. So you just got to get the method right. If you get the method right, you're going to ball out. But we don't need three of those methods, so I'm going to bring that up when we get to the fight, because I just found this, and this is what the Fight Club of Pain has been doing, and this is what Dan has invoked in me, is while he is just rambling off talking about his stuff, I'm digging into the numbers live so that we can build something, a parlay, and man, I'm going to wait. Dan, dude, wait till you hear this.
I like to ramble, man. I like to ramble, so you have time.
Yeah, we got time. We got lots of people still coming in right now. I want to make sure that everybody does get in here, and that, at the same time, if you use code word DOC, you can get to Dr. Roto, get a percentage off of your subscription, and join today and get all of that, because right now, baseball's killing it. Lou hit $38,000 last week while we were live, Dan. Oh, I just can't believe that. I mean, Trevor, not Lou. But
can I get a loan?
And what's crazy is Thursday slates are small. It was a small slate. So all the information that he put in the write-up that day, it was all in there. And then all you had to do is just go follow it, and you would have won that money. We also put the lineups in the Subs Only Discord, which is crazy. But everybody is here for UFC 314. Bam. Okay. So last week, overall, I write my stuff down, people. Right? I went 8-5 overall. Dan, you went 2-2. I went 3-1. Again, the picks mean nothing. We're hitting the things. But the fact that I was able to go 3-1 and you were able to go 2-2 when we only had one alike fight shows kind of what was happening last week. Did you feel that way? Does it feel like a lot of fights just went that way?
I did, man. It was everything was up in the air last week. People won that weren't supposed to win. People lost that weren't supposed to lose. It's fighting, man. You cannot predict. You cannot predict a lucky punch.
No, and one of our fighters actually had that happen to him, and he's gonna be fighting my dog. I can't wait to talk about that fight. I'm so jacked up, dude. Woo! So yeah, we got all that right, but the five-tastic picks that were only at drroto.com, not part of the subs only Discord, went 4-1, putting me at 27-8 for the year. Now, that's of course 7 weeks of action. We've been doing this for 2 months as of right now, and we have done everything that we have needed to to put it down, man. So let's get to it. Let's start our first fight. You said you wanted to do Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's throw right in there. So I'm gonna bring it all right in. So we'll have all the stats right here. Of course, we got Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. You got 38-18, 15-3-1. Both won in their last fights. We got 5-8 for Jimmy Miller. We got 6-1 for Hooper. We just want to call him the Hooper. Just get your name is Hooper now. You Hooper. I don't care. I almost want to say Austin Hooper, but you're Chase Hooper.
He's Chase Hooper.
He's Chase Hooper. He's going to be chasing this man around, that's for sure. He's got a 74-inch reach, which is a 3-inch advantage. Last week, at one point going into the main card, everybody that had like a 4+ or 5+ inch reach was 4-0 at that time. So again, this is going to play into some of the fights that we're going to bring in, because there's going to be a pick I'm going to be picking against with somebody that has a big advantage in this area. So legs 40-41, nothing really big. But overall, when I'm looking at this fight, you're looking at youth and you're looking at age. So why do you love Chase Jim Miller so much?
Oh man, he's won 3 of his last 4. We'll just put it out there. He's won 3 of his last 4. He's one of the best grapplers in the UFC.
I'm not going to deny that. He's good. One
of the best grapplers in the UFC. And he'll stand there and he'll throw down with you if it's needed.
That's right.
He has the most wins in the UFC history ever. Most wins ever in the UFC.
And that's to say a lot. That's how long he's been around as well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, that's I have to agree with all of that. What were you about to say?
I was going to say, but Hooper is also on a 4-fight winning streak.
Yes. That is what I love so much about Hooper.
I mean, so out of these guys' last 8 fights, there's only been 1 loss. There's only been 1 loss.
It's crazy you bring that up too, because that's exactly what's going on with them right now.
Yeah.
So why I like Chase Hooper is, of course, I love the age. I like the little bit of reach. I think that this fight, you could almost say that this is it's almost a trap fight. I mean, at the time that I wrote down these numbers, I had Jim Miller was a plus 500. Chase Hooper was a negative 850. As of right now, live on the Fight Club of Pain, as everything loads up, because everything is straight up, live, we have Chase Hooper at get it. It's a negative 1100. A negative 1100. And that tells me right there that all the money is on Hooper. They're not giving Jim Miller any respect. They think Hooper's going to knock him out, or do they think Hooper's going to submit him? Because you're looking, from what I'm seeing, is they think, well, first, Chase Hooper has amazing numbers on his submission. So that right there alone is going to tell you his first and second rounds a plus 150 at the moment on FanDuel. And right now it's a plus 250 for the second and third rounds. Bro, how's Jim Miller overdo that, man?
I mean, he has the youth. He's a talented grappler. He has the better stand-up, and he's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do in the fight. You don't know if he's going to stand up. You don't know if he's going to shoot. You don't know if he's going to wrestle you. He has every aspect of the game. But
I agree with that.
Jim Miller has fought the who's who of this weight class.
Okay. So you're going to roll the rookie card on me.
Yeah.
You're going to roll the rookie card on me. Okay.
Jim Miller has been there, done that with every fighter in this division.
All right. I'll give you that. And it's clear you're picking Jim Miller.
Yeah.
So if you feel that Jim Miller's going to win, do you think this goes decision? The reason why I bring that up is
I don't.
Oh, you don't think it goes decision? Because I'm going to tell you right now, decision on this right now is actually pretty bad. It's what do they got right here? Submission actually is a negative 120. So they think somebody's getting submitted in this fight.
Yeah.
Whether it be Jim Miller or it be Chase Hooper. So that right there tells you when those numbers are heavy like that. I mean, that's what you think. What's your call with Miller? Do you think he's going to submit or do you think it's a knockout?
I think Jim Miller submits him in the third round.
So I'm going to play that submission at a negative 120. And if you say that Jim Miller is going to submit him in the third round, dude, I can't wait to see these numbers. I'm telling you right now, these numbers are going to be crazy because Jim Miller, because I just looked at the second and third round. The second and third round submission by Jim Miller is a 4,000. So the third round is a plus 5,000 right now. You know what? I'm just I'm a degenerate. I'm gonna throw. I will throw. Hey, look, a quarter
50 cents on
it. Quarter, double it up. No, just but 50 cents wins you $25 if it happens.
50 cents on it.
If it happens, and here's one of those things. You throw a half unit on that, throw a half unit on the third round, and then just throw a full unit on the submission. And if Chase Hooper chokes out Jim Miller, you only lose 10 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait till you hear this little thing I found on here already later, dude. You are going to be like, how do you figure these things out? So everybody, Jim Miller, that's going to be Dan's boy. And Chase Hooper, he's going to be my boy. Chase, don't let me down, bro. You're in some of my lineups. You're in some. But they put him, actually, I did want to bring that up because Chase Hooper is the most expensive fighter on DraftKings. He's at $9,600. And Jim Miller is the least expensive fighter on DraftKings. So it's a heavy favorite. And really,
that means you got to take Jim Miller.
You are the only person I'm pretty sure is going to probably bet on Jim Miller. But here's the thing. We're not betting to win 10 cents, people. No. We're betting to win a lot of money. And if $10 wins you $500 for Jim Miller, but you put $10 on Hooper and $10 only wins you $9, I mean, you still win. You still win. Yeah, you're still winning. You're still winning. You're going to get some of your money back, and you have that chance. So that's the crazy things, and that's what's going into the numbers. But I mean, Chase Hooper right now, when we look at it, he's been in a first, second, and first round. He's had 3 straight submissions, like you said, overall 4 different wins. But in that win that started the 4 that you talked about, which was a decision, he had 149 significant strikes, and that was against Fiore. So that to me shows that Chase Hooper can sit in there and throw some damage, which actually brought. What's that?
He could sit. He could sit in a pocket and throw all day long. He can. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Sorry about cutting you off.
Oh, no. Hey, we're going to cut each other off. We just need to go over each other. Yeah. So, dude, honestly, Chase Hooper, knockout, second and third round, plus 1,100. I mean, that, again, is another bet that I'm going to make because, for me, it's all about if that happens. If that happens. And look, you're saying, well, you could also be throwing money away. Oh, that's true. That's true. But believe me, when one of these big hits hit, the rest of the night's free. If the DFS lineup hits at the end of this podcast, it's free. If my backup DFS lineup, which I already have one of those as well, too, which, yeah, I caught something today, too, with FanDuel. I went to go make a baseball lineup. This is what I do sometimes. And they actually finally started 1.5ing the captain spot, so they moved it up. So now they're practically like DraftKings. And it's going to make things a little overall hard because actually which already started, which I haven't even looked at, the Phillies. So to put Schwarber as the captain, it was over $22,000. So Max Kepler is my captain. Yeah. Woo. Anyway, back to it. Yes, that's what playing all those points are, and that's what the DFS is to cover both sites, the betting, the DFS, to get everything, the complete package. That's what we give you at the Fight Club of Pain. But I love the fight, man. So if there's nothing else on the prelims that excites you, we can move along to the main card. I know that's what everybody is here for. Do you feel like that?
Dude, that main card is unreal. From the top to the bottom.
Dude. Go on, man. Hit me with it.
From Krylov to Reyes all the way to the main event, man. I mean, it's unreal.
You have like some old blood, new blood. You got old new blood.
Yeah,
I love it all, man.
Got a little bit of everything. You got a brand new UFC fighter in Pitbull coming in.
Yeah,
he's never fought in the big leagues, but
no. We got some dogs, man. We got some dogs on this card, man. It's gonna be really fun to break it down. So let's get to it. All right, everybody, let's bring the pain to the main. Yeah. Woo! That's how we do it on Bring the Pain. Every doing to the wild gotta, ooh, yeah. Get a little wild. Freaky side. Wrestling, man. Wait till y'all see the WrestleMania podcast. I might have to have you on for that.
I'm down, man. Let's go.
I'm waiting for DraftKings to do the poll. Once DraftKings does the poll for night 1 and night 2, assumingly they're going to do it, I would love to do that with you immediately because, man, I'm just hoping they get it done by like at least Friday or Saturday afternoon so that we can get a little time, answer the questions, and give everybody some good money because I've hit money in all these tournaments the last few times, and the last one was pretty hard, but it was just great. It was just, they're easy questions, and you don't put no money in. It's free. You're answering questions, people.
Last time I watched wrestling with you was at SummerSlam last year. So,
dude, we still pulled off the Caper of the Year. So we went to Pittsburgh to watch Payback, and I bought the only 2 tickets that weren't scalped. And what ended up happening is Dan already had bought the tickets. So after he bought the tickets, he flipped back around and he was like, all right, so we both had our daughters. He had a wife with him. So they all got the 3 seats because Dan bought 3. So I went on the app. Me and Dan go up to the top seats and we're up there in the bleachers pretty far and we're not next to each other. Practically Dan's behind me. It's kind of weird, but
crime of the century.
So I go, and mind you, this is a PPG arena or whatnot. Right? It's a PPG arena, right? No, I don't know.
PPG paints, yeah.
Yeah, PPG paints. So I went on the app and I saw these tickets getting scalped for like $750. They were right next to the stage. So we went right to the thing and I was like, man, I hope nobody's got those seats. I looked, there's nobody sitting in the seats. I waited till game time. Nobody. We sat in those seats the whole night and had a hell of a bang. Yo, The wrestlers were right next to us, Dan. That was a crazy time.
Yeah. Great times. Pulled off,
all right.
We pulled off the heist of the century.
That was awesome, man. I'm pretty sure those tickets straight up were $350 each. $350 easy. And easy. We got them for $30 and $40. Boom! That's how you bring the pain to your seat charts. Yeah. I don't know why. That is so stupid.
We're going
All
to
right.
jail.
I'm going to jail. Just told on myself. You know what? It's already done. The pictures in the videos are.
It was like 2 years ago.
No, they lied. It was like a year ago. 2 years this November. It's like, no. All right, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. The almost beat John Jones, Dominic Reyes. But coming in a little chubby, Dominic Reyes, not looking like himself. What's up, Dan? Tell me about it, because I know you were deep into UFC during this fight.
I mean, Krylov, he's an elite finisher. He's finished 28 out of 30 fights, all by stoppage, and he's only been beat 9 times in his career. He's been fighting a long time, like a really long time. Mm-hmm. He has amazing submissions, and he hasn't fought since 2023. He hasn't fought in over 2 years.
Yep, another one of the fighters that have had some time off.
On the other hand, you have Reyes. Mm-hmm. He dropped 3 in a row, get knocked out twice, bad. But then he comes off and he has 2 knockout wins in a row.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
2 KO wins in a row, and I think he beat John Jones. I'm not gonna lie. I think he won that fight.
A lot of people do. Do. I go on, man. Keep talking.
But he's vulnerable to the knockout. He has a weak chin. He does. Mm-hmm. He's powerful and he has great stand up though. I think if it stays on the feet, it goes to his advantage.
I can see that.
Krylov is a beast though. But
yeah.
Ring rust is a real thing. It's a real thing.
And you know, that goes with one of the girls, Haley Cohen. Like, she's coming back with some time off. She's a freak. She's gifted athletically straight across the board. She's huge. But it's like that much time off. She didn't look good before she came back. So then, you know, you kind of look at Hugo Krylov and you're like, okay, he was solid. He went out. He's hard to finish. You know, is he the type of guy that can come back and still have, you know, like an advantage? And he can. You know, sometimes, like for me, when I point fight, like I could point fight this week. I'm not even prepared, even though I sparred last night. But I can go in there and say, I'm not going to fight. But if at the last second I need to fight, I'm going to fight. That's actually a thing right now. So in this tournament we're going to, there has to be 4 black belts for them to put a $300 prize up. So for a chance at $300, there has to be 4. Well, if only 3 black belts show up, I know one of our guys is already showing up. There's going to be a shortage. Also, in the black belt division, we also, you know, they're talking about throwing Molly in the black belt division, the women's, because if it makes 4 people, she can defend herself against. Last night we had a pretty good point fight, and she proved that last fight when she fought a teenage boy in an exhibition. You know, she can hold up, but there's a size difference too. She could get like a 6'1", you know, and at that point we're not going to put her in. So, you know, but for me, what you think?
Point fighting is a whole nother animal than being in the octagon, though.
Exactly.
You guys aren't looking to kill the other opponent. You're looking to just score points. Like
well, I mean, you might be.
You might be.
I might be. I mean, I'm guilty of that, point fighting. Yeah. Anybody watching this right now, that's what the Rob Rush is all about. You know, I literally just attack my opponents. You can't, and that's, so like if I was in the octagon, I would be considered a striker purely with no wrestling. So that means if I would win a fight, most likely you're going to look at a lot of points. And that's what we need to look at that. But anytime a good striker goes up against a good wrestler, like what we have and this is a perfect example, being Yan Xian, which you like, against Verna Jandiroba, it's the complete polar opposites of both fights. Yeah. So even though we're talking about Nikita, you know, Krylov and Reyes, this also brings it. So let's hit it up. You got 6'4", 6'3", 77 versus 77.5. Of course, the advantage going with Krylov. And they're really just the same dude.
Yeah,
they're both older.
They're roughly the same age, height, and reach.
Yes.
Rough. I mean, there's what, a half-inch difference in any of them.
Yes. Yeah. The only thing I think that really does is that Reyes doesn't really go for takedowns. His takedown defense is 82, but also Krylov's takedown accuracy is 38. So when you kind of combine that together and you say, let's half that out, we're doing some big papa pump.
It's going to be a stand-up fight.
Kind of mathing right now.
Yeah,
that puts that yes, we do make wrestling comments, right? That puts his takedown defense at least at a 65% success rate.
Yeah.
If you didn't see what I just did there, go look up Big Papa Pump numbers, and you'll be all right. They're gonna get schooled. So that being said, that's exactly why, like, the hand-to-hand with the point fight and killing and taking people's head off. You're right. Somebody can get taken down. So in this fight, I think that's going to be on the feet, which does value Reyes more. Yeah. Also, I mean, agree. What do you got to add to that, man? What do you got?
I agree with it. If it's a stand-up fight, the whole fight, if Krylov does not shoot, if he does not try to take him down, Dominic Reyes is just going to pick him apart. Mm-hmm. And I think Reyes wins by decision.
Okay. I was going to say, both of us feel like this is going to go the length. And that being said, too, when you look at will it go the distance, actually, that's a positive 152 right now. So, again, when you look at that right there and you look at the method of victory, you have Krylov by points as a plus 330. You have Dominic Reyes by a plus 440 right now, live. And if you combine any one of those together, you're going to be able, even Reyes right now is a plus 152. If you do Reyes and you do distance, because I know who are you picking?
I'm picking Reyes.
Okay.
Reyes,
all right. I thought he was picking. I
was trying to get a hold of my Macy. So I was trying to get her attention.
Yeah. So he's picking Reyes. So if you do that, right, if you combine that as a parlay, in that you get a plus 367. Now, if you feel like you're on the Krylov side with me at the negative 200, again, when you get this, it's not that much worse. It's a plus 277. So, that being said, when you put all that together, you have both sides covered. You're going to make positive money as long as this fight goes the distance. So that's going to be, I agree with that. I do think it's going to go the distance myself. A lot of the other stuff that I've looked at too. I mean, even if it doesn't go the distance, I'm looking at Krylov getting a submission in 1-2 and 2-3 is a plus 410 and a plus 550. So they think that if Reyes gets on the ground, that he's going to immediately get submitted by Krylov. But knockouts,
I agree with that. If it goes to the ground, Dominic Reyes is done. Yeah.
Okay. And that's gonna be the same for another fighter we're about to talk about too very soon. So just to get it right. All right. So I gotta flip it over here. So I'm picking Krylov and you are picking Reyes. So we have that together. But again, I will throw in the knockouts. So when we go 1 and 2 for Krylov, 450 goes to a 750 on the 2 and 3, plus 550 for Reyes, plus 900. So they don't see a knockout. They're trying to give out these bloated numbers, which is amazing, which means we can make money off of that. And then with the two bets that we just threw in, the parlays, one of those parlays is hitting. And if one of those parlays don't hit, then you come down and you either hit the double points right here, the double chance, which right now, Krylov by submission or points is a plus 115. That covers base, right? And Dominic Reyes if it's going to happen, would be knockout or points is a plus 175. Everything is in the positive.
Yeah.
So bet it all because something's going to hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I mean,
I bring the betting aspect. I be hitting Dan with so many betting aspects. It's crazy. Like he's just like,
you blow my mind sometimes.
And that's why I say that you have to look at the numbers. You have to look at the fighters. You have to know the fighters. You have to watch tape on the fighters. But you also have to look at like people like the DFS side of things really gets me going because it always has those extra stats that can score extra money, whether it be on FanDuel or DraftKings. It doesn't matter because if we go to like, let's say Krylov, which is 8,800 on DraftKings right now, which is a lot of money, which I did want to bring this up because there was one point, and I was thinking about you, that Reyes looked juicy at his price. So in the last, like I said, Krylov, you're looking at 7 strikes. Of course, that was the win against Ryan Spann. He won that round 1 submission. So we got the decision, 57 strikes. We got the knockout, 26 strikes. And of course, that was Gustafsson. And that dude's hard to knock out, but, he still did it. When you go down to Reyes, what's that?
He fought him when he was old, man. He fought Gustafsson.
Okay, I'll give you that. But, like, when you go to Reyes, when he's winning, even when he's not winning, you got 121 significant strikes in his last hit. You got 20. Then you got him losing 5, 63 in a loss. Second round, he was able to hit 63 significant strikes against Project.
Yep.
And that's money. That's money. That's easy. Like if you go in and say like right now, if you go into, let's say the popular instead of the popular vet, when it's not doing that. If you just go play the actual significant strikes, which I was a few short on last week, then you get that extra money. Of course, they're not giving it out, so we're not going to be able to do that. But at the same time, that's what we're saying. That's what we're doing. So you got Reyes, I got Krylov. Let's move along. All right, we got Yari Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. Nasty. Did you see him working out on the beach?
No, I didn't.
Ah, dude, I was watching. Well, okay, I know you don't have like social media, so that kind of
I don't.
I get the updates, and I'm like, oh, what's Patricio Pitbull doing, right? So I hit on it and everything like that, and then I get into it. So to me, it's just funny. It's just like seeing him. So he's on the beach, he's all hyping up, and he's got his little Pitbull tattoo on his back. They're showing him off, and he's talking, man. He's talking. He's got that dog in him, man. What do you think? What do you got right now? What are you looking at?
So with Pitbull, he's 37 years old. Mm-hmm. He's taken a beating over his career. He's 1-2 over his last 3 fights. He's only won 1 fight in his last 3 fights.
Yep.
And he's making a huge jump in competition right now. Huge jump. He's fought in Bellator and the lower promotions his whole career. Mm-hmm. Kind of like Michael Chandler did.
Yep.
I mean, his right hand can cause an upset.
Mm-hmm.
But he's old and weathered. And if he would have came 6-7 years ago to the UFC, he may have made an impact. But right now, I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, so practically, he at the end of this fight, he said, I'm going to prove to everybody why I'm the best featherweight in the world. So
he's not even top 10.
He's not even top 10. He's putting the Pitbull down, which that's gonna come up later too, because there's been some beef with when we get to the Mitchell Silva fight. Oh man, we're gonna have so much fun with that. So go ahead, hit it up.
Yair Rodriguez, on the other hand, dude, he has a 6-inch reach and height advantage.
Yes.
And he's extremely versatile. His skill set is unmatched. unmatched in the UFC. And he's coming off back-to-back losses. He really is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But he fought the who's who of the featherweight division in the UFC.
Exactly.
He's due for a win. He's due for a win. And I think he's gonna put Old Yeller out to pasture this week.
Oh man, he's going down. Oh, okay, so we know Dan is picking Yari. And when I first saw this, I will agree with this. When I first saw this and this fight, I go, okay, Pitbull, and you were like, you know the name, I know the name, and I'm like, okay. But I have watched tape on Rodriguez. I've watched a lot of tape on him because we've done all sorts of we've looked at this man, because of all the research we've been doing over the last few weeks. I've been able to run across a lot of his similar opponents. So those opponents like Volkanovski, whose it's so funny that a lot of the fighters on this card have so much like their 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, dude. They're all right next to each other. But I mean, even Josh Emmett, he beat Josh Emmett and scored over 102 DK points in that fight. In that same fight, he only needed 6. He submitted Josh Emmett in the second round. He had 62 strikes at that moment. And mind you, he had no control time. So it was the fact that he was able to get Emmett in that situation and then be able to take advantage of him. And that's what you're going at. He's just the best fighter. So when I look at the two fighters, Pitbull, a lot of people feel, and I feel, that he's going to go forward, and that also Pitbull's going to kind of rush him and try to take him down. Now, that might be a problem because Rodriguez's takedown defense is bad, but Pitbull doesn't really take down as often. I mean, overall in his last, his couple fights, he has had some time on the ground, but at the same time with Pitbull right now, that's his only method, because if he sits back, like I brought up earlier in this podcast, that reach advantage comes into play. Yep. My guy, like when I'm rushing and I'm doing the Rob Rush against a taller opponent, I can't go down the pipe. I have to come off to the side. So that's going to have to be Pitbull's strategy. He can't stay in front because the leg advantage, the length of the leg advantage is also another big factor too. So it has to happen on the ground, because for me, that's where Rodriguez quits. Once somebody gets on his back, he's like, oh boy, I'm good. I'm not messing with this. I'm playing out. Don't mind the extra music. We have fun. So
sorry, my phone was ringing.
I'm guilty of that too. The first couple of times I always threw that on. So for me, I like Pitbull. I'm picking Pitbull. That's who I'm going with. Right now, Pitbull is of course the dog, plus 158. He was at 158 when I wrote this down 2 days ago. And Rodriguez is at the same, a negative 205. When I go down to the submissions, I have the Pitbull 1 and 2 for 1,000, Pitbull 2 and 3 for 1,500. And of course, Yari, he don't try for that stuff, but again, 1,800 to 2,700. And then you have the Yari knockout at 450 to 700. So right there, that tells me that's something that, again, it goes to Yari is practically the favorite because they think he's going to knock him out. And for that, that's where, the points have, even though they have the points at a negative 150, that seems to be that method of victory that they want to go. Because again, negative 140 for the distance. How do you see this fight ending?
I think Yair ends it in the second round with a knockout.
Okay. And right now we're just going to throw that in because, I like it. If there's a method for it, second round knockout's a plus 1,200 right now. So that's going to be the play right there. And for me, I'm going to be that person. So for me, I'm going to say that he doesn't knock him out, that Patricio pulls through, that the fight does go the distance, and that parlayed together gives you a plus 352. And that 352 right there gives you if you want to play just the straight up knockout and then play this, and then, like you said, bounce back to like we did with the last fight, you're going to get your positives money. But let me tell you about this. I'm not scared to say that Patricio Pitbull runs up, grabs him early, and gets him down by submission in the first or second round.
Wow.
That's it. That's going to be my play. But other than that, really, if you want strong money, you're playing the decision. You're playing the rounds. You're playing everything you got. Even so, I gave you the distance. So if you think it's going to go the distance, and we heard that the distance points was at, when you go into the total rounds, over 2.5 rounds is 1.68. So even if you think that there's going to be a late knockout, then play the over in 2.5 rounds. Do what you want to do, people. It's your money. We're just telling you how to make money or be safe with your money. And that'll come at the end with the DFS lineup. Yeah. All right, so you got it. You got your boy. So let's move along. I want to do the co-main event before we get into Mitchell versus Sylvia. So let's do Michael Chandler plus 132 at the time. I should just give you guys the live. So we got Michael Chandler plus 124. He hasn't even slipped at all. And we got Paddy Pimblett at negative 160. What do we got going?
Oh, man. Paddy Pimblett's done nothing but impress me, man. He's 6-0 inside the octagon. Mm-hmm. He hasn't lost since 2018.
Yeah.
But
looked good.
He's never faced someone like Michael Chandler, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's never faced the talent of Michael Chandler.
Man, you're so right.
But Paddy Pimblett is outstanding at finishing fights. He has 16 wins by stoppage in his career.
This is another fighter that I love, man. It wasn't just like that. I knew about Paddy because of all the publicity and everything he's doing. He is their guy. But like you just said, Michael Chandler ain't ho. And it doesn't matter that Michael Chandler is one of the most hated people or wants to be hated or whatnot. If Paddy stays in front of Michael Chandler, he will get knocked out. He will get knocked out.
Here's the thing. Paddy Pimblett's a great wrestler, and he's a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu technician.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been knocked out, ever, in his career.
Never.
But is Paddy Pimblett arrogant enough to stand in front of Michael Chandler?
You know, that's a big question. And I think that a lot of people are going to be happy that you asked that because, seriously, if his arrogance, if Conor McGregor's this, that's going to put him where Conor McGregor is. Not right now, but it's going to start scarring his future that he's making for himself, his legacy that he's making for himself. He's going to scar that by sitting there. But I'm not saying that he can easily submit Chandler either. Although Chandler does, after we saw what Charles Oliveira did to him, and that whole hilarious thing.
Yeah, Michael Chandler gasses in 2 rounds. We all know it. Everyone knows it. He gasses after 2 rounds.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So you bringing up the rounds really makes me think. Right now on FanDuel, as of like they have this fight now. I don't know if FanDuel. I mean, I think they know, but they're trying to say this. This is a 5-round fight, and right now, if you go to FanDuel and you look at the actual rounds, they only have under 2.5 and over 2.5. So the over 2.5 is a 108. So if we could get the first round, hey, let's play tag. Oh, look, you threw a couple blows, right? And then second round, we get some really good action, right? Third round, okay, Paddy takes him down. All right, we're looking at some good stuff, which, by the way, I have that bet. Now we're past the 2.5 round mark. This should be 4.5. This is a fault that you can exploit right now on FanDuel if you think that this fight goes past the 2.5 minute mark on a point. I think it can. Dan, do you think that it can? Because even the under's a negative 230, a 138.
I don't know, but I mean, Chandler's 38 years old, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's running out of favor with the UFC. I mean,
you're true about that.
He's 2-4. He was supposed to be the next big thing. He's only won 2 fights.
Yeah.
You know, and he's only won 2 fights, but every loss he has come within that top 5 of the lightweight division.
Yep.
So I mean, he's fighting elite talent, but he's losing to elite talent. So that tells me he's not as elite as he once was.
Yes. And for that, it's leading right to what you're saying.
Yeah. He loves to trade hands, and he loves he's like one of those fighters that will point and just throw until he gets knocked out.
Yep. Yeah. So you think that they are wise by the negative under 2.5 rounds being a negative 138? You think that this can't even make the 5 rounds? I mean, I agree with that. But I'm looking at that right now. I'm looking at that if that's an actual exploit or at the plus 108. So you're going to double your money if you take that bet.
I think it goes 3 rounds. It goes 3 rounds. And
see, that's close. Yeah.
I think Patty's arrogant enough to trade with him, and I think Patty gets caught.
Ooh, you know, man. So, what round do you think? What round do you look at? So, are you picking Michael Chandler? And you're picking Michael Chandler knockout.
Third round.
Yeah. So the plus 234 for Chandler knockout is a plus 600. Honestly, I think if you're taking the Chandler side, that's a strong bet, because like Dan just said, and just like the science that we're talking about right now, with a 5 total round fight, because when we get to the main event, it's going to be 4.5. So, and when we usually get to 5 rounds, it's always a 4.5. The fact that this is a 2.5 kind of gives me, that little thing, but the second, third, and fourth round easily gives you a plus 600. And for me, what I already looked at is the Patty. And I have Patty as the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round submission. And I've already had that. It's plus 750. That is one of my bold calls, that Patty sleeps Chandler in the 2nd and 3rd, which the 2nd and 3rd was a 230. It was plus 750. So these lines have changed since then, because now if I go up to the round betting and I look at it all and I get the Patty or round, the method and round betting. So we get the Patty right now. Patty on points is a 950. So again, they're not going to see it go, but Patty by submission is a plus 250. So that right there tells me that it's going to be a submission. That backs that. And then when I go into the let's say, when I go into the double chance, and this might be one of those fights where you do the double chance, you're going to do Patty, submission. You could do the points. You could do Patty, submission, and technical knockout, negative 125. But if you feel that Chandler might get that same thing, or for some reason it goes, you have the same thing, it's a plus 195, plus 160. That's what you got. So you're picking Chandler.
I am, man. I was torn on this fight. I like Patty.
This is a hard fight.
I like Patty, but I think he's arrogant enough to stand with Michael Chandler.
I can agree with that. And again, like I said, when you look at these bets and you're going on, you're going the under 2.5, that being the negative, either way you go, you play this or you play that, you're going to get those extra points. I mean, evenly, $1 is going to win you $8.50 back. $10 is going to win you $85 back. So that right there just says you cover yourself, whatever way method, if that's the true method and the true description of this, and that's the back and forth of this fight, by selecting those, you're covered again. So, woo-wee. All right. Oh boy, here we go. Oh. You know it. Oh. It's going to be the fighting nerd himself, Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell's a little farmer talking about he wants to put it. Dude.
Bryce Mitchell wants to have dinner with Hitler.
He's gone nuts with his podcast. Dude, I was listening to one of the guys earlier and they said He said, Jeans. He said, I hope Silva pushes him to the edge of the earth and pushes him off the ledge.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this dude talking about?
I mean, with Bryce Mitchell, man, you can't deny his talent. You can't.
No.
I mean,
Excellent wrestler.
He's shifty and he's skilled.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a beast on the ground. You have to admit it. He has 9 submission wins.
Yeah, I admit it.
But on the feet, he has 0 finishing ability. 0.
Mm-hmm.
None. He cannot trade hands with any. He cannot trade hands with anybody. He's a sloppy striker, and every combo he throws is predictable.
Yeah, and to me, what you just said right there, it's predictable. So why are we even going to stay on our feet? We're not. Yeah. We're taking this down from the go, which means he's going to have to shoot.
Yeah.
Against one of the most deadliest punchers in the game right now.
In the game, but my thing with Bryce Mitchell, how's his chin from getting just decimated?
So, by Josh Emmett.
Yeah, decimated. Like, did his brain heal?
That's exactly why I said later in this podcast, we're going to talk about this. Because when you said earlier that a fight can end it at any point, this is exactly the main fight that this could be. Because as he shoots in, now, don't get it wrong. Like, right now, we all know that Silva comes from the Fighting Nerds. They know how to wrestle. And they know what they're going to do on the ground. So for me, you look at there's really not much of a reach advantage. 1-inch don't mean crap to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a leg advantage with Mitchell having the better of the two. But when you go to the grappling, you got an 80% on Silva. Silva now, and of course, you have a 43% takedown on Mitchell. So when you combine that together, because it's so high, I'm going to put that 56% of the time, Silva's going to be able to stop those. And I think within those 56% of the times, he will be able to knock out and finish Bryce Mitchell. Because in that video, go on,
I agree.
Talk.
I agree with you 100%. God, that's all I was going to say. I agree with you.
Oh, and I'll throw this in there. When you're looking at over 5 significant strikes landed per minute, and you look at how much Mitchell absorbs per minute at 1.53, that right there means that he's going to be absorbing at least 1.5 of those punches, and all it takes is those 2 punches, like we saw Josh Emmett did, and Josh Emmett exposed him down the middle, and Mitchell thought he was cute by saying, I live on a farm, and stray dogs come up all the time on my cattle and my chickens, and I put dogs down. That's why I started with this with boxing. But at the end of that, after he was translated, Silva said, I'm going to knock you out. Stare into my eyes. Stare.
Well, with Silva, one, he's 2 years younger.
Yeah.
He's 2 years younger. And like you said, he's one of the most skilled stand-up fighters in the UFC.
Yeah, I'll put that up right there.
He has 12 knockouts. 12 knockouts. And he has amazing defense, and his takedown defense is even better than his fighting defense.
Exactly.
And he's going to look to keep it standing, and he's going to try to knock him out.
And you know, Baghdasaryan, everybody thought he wasn't going to get knocked out, but he got knocked out. But that's not the thing I want to weigh in. Let's go back to the DK points as we make these points. 107 in that knockout. 66, 3 rounds, technical knockout, 53 significant strikes. When he fought Jourdain, 104 points. When he fought Wilson, 115. Now, I know that you guys are all saying, well, how's he doing it? Look, he hasn't even had any control time. Silva just keeps it on the feet. So for 3 rounds, 2 rounds, when you start looking at this and you say how many significant strikes, Silva's getting so many knockouts, he isn't even going over 60 significant strikes before. The fact that Drew Dober lasted as long as he did and then got knocked out after. I mean, we ain't gonna talk about last week.
Rest in peace, Drew Dober.
Woo! That man went down like a bag of nails. But it to me, that's the path. And that's what I see with Mitchell. I see Mitchell coming forward. I see him walking in the same way he did with Josh Emmett, and he's going to get knocked out. And I think right now, the Fighting Nerds have Silva dialed in. I think Silva's dialed in himself to knock him out. So unless he grabs him from the go and keeps him down for 3 rounds. I got to say this too, real quick. I just put up a skit real quick at Dr. Roto on the Facebook and the X. And that skit practically says a good wrestler will beat a good boxer any single day. And that is shown in the UFC when we talk about, as we talked about earlier with Genoba. If I said that right anyway. Anyway, like we said, when you get that and you get down, that is Mitchell's only path to success. The only fact, it's not, I don't see that working. I don't see it working at all. And I think that if he even tries to get it down. So who do you got in this fight?
I think Silva rocks him in the first and knocks him out in the second.
Oh, man. So here's the funny thing about that. This was the fight that I was alluding to earlier in the podcast that has an actual discrepancy. So if you just go right now, I mean, of course, if you go, will it go the distance? No is a negative 205. This fight's going to be over fast. That's the line right here. But how the fight will end. Right now on FanDuel, fight will end knockout, plus 100. Fight will end submission, plus 400. Fight goes points, plus 150. What you do right now is all of that is plus. It is simple sauce. Even if you put 1 unit, of course, if you're going to go, if this is going to be a technical knockout, first and foremost, you're going to go 2 units on the knockout. You go 1 submission if you want to cover your ass, and one unit on the points. But if you really think that if Mitchell does get Silva down, he's most likely not going to be able to submit him unless he pulls, I didn't even talk about Duty last week, Brito. If he pulls a Brito, if he pulls a Brito, right, then this does go the points. Then you don't lose. You get points, 150, you get 100, you double up, you're getting positive money all around. And I know that a lot of people are going, why would they put everything in the positive? Exactly. So that right now, until they catch it, one of those, then I'm surprised knockout isn't in a negative, because that would be taking the money. But they're goading you. I mean, I know what FanDuel's doing. They're goading you into one of those 3, but you only need 2 of them. You only need 2 of them. I don't think this is going to end with a submission. I think it's going to be a knockout or points, mostly knockout. That's why you put the more units on the knockout. You cover your ass with the points. And if you want to get froggy, throw a half unit on the submission. Even at a half unit, the submission will still return all of your money back for the other 2 bets. Boom! I'd like, what, people? What? That's what we do. Dan, I told you I was coming with it. I was dogging on this. So we got both that. Oh man, I was having so much fun with that. So that to me right there, that's your slice. But let's get to it. Let's get to the main event. In this corner, we have one of the greatest fighters of all time, Alexander Volkanovski. In this corner, we have the up-and-coming, hungry warrior, Diego Lopes. Oh, yeah. The hardest fight on the entire card.
Tough fight.
I can't even play with this fight. I didn't go. Go ahead, Dan.
Can I break this down?
Break it down, Dan.
Right. So, Volk, we get it. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Mm-hmm. He's 1-3 over his last 4 fights.
Yeah.
His 3 losses have come to the 2 best fighters on the planet.
Yes!
That's
Yes!
it. Those are the only 2 people he's ever lost to. The 2 best fighters on the planet.
God, I love him so much, man. He's such a great dude, man.
So,
But man,
he lost to Ilya and he lost to Makhachev twice.
yep.
Okay, that first fight, he beat Makhachev. He shouldn't have lost that decision, but he got knocked out the second fight.
Yes, he did. And I'll agree with you that too. 70 significant strikes with 2 minutes and 55 seconds of control time on Makhachev.
He won
Makhachev?
He won that fight. But he's never been submitted. And dude, I can't praise this man enough. He is the best featherweight of all time. All time.
So, I'm going to totally agree with that. He really wants his title back. He is pissed. And honestly, he can take this title back. This brings me up to that quote that I sent you when I talked about him being on the podcast with John Jones. This goes back to 2018, I think. And John Jones goes, first of all, he was like, dude, you're a beast. He was like, you was trying to get Makhachev off you like this. You was punching him like this. And that's a dog. Yeah. That's why Lopez ain't taking him down. And Lopez's tank hasn't been really tested as often. So, again, go back with your Volk, man. Tell me about it.
So with Lopez, he has a massive height advantage. Height advantage over Volk.
Yes.
And he's a nasty finisher, and he's been on a tear lately. Finishing everybody. Dude, he smashed Brian Ortega.
He did. He freaking
smashed Brian Ortega,
dude,
who is one of the best fighters on the planet. He's top 10.
Yeah. And what's crazy is when you say smashed him, right, in a decision, that fight should have been over. 106 significant strikes.
Should have been over in the first round. Like, he knocked him out, and then the ref let him get back up.
He did. He knocked him back out.
Yeah.
He knocked him out and knocked him alive.
Then he knocked him alive. Yeah. Like, he smashed Brian Ortega. Dude, he's fast. He's unorthodox. His combos are so crisp. And dude, he is really good wrestling, believe it or not.
No, you're correct. Both, you want to talk about that. He had 2 minutes and 45 seconds of control time in a 3-round fight against Ortega. So he only did it, but 4 minutes and 6 seconds against Dan Ige. And Dan Ige isn't a pushover either. He's there. He does it, but he took him down. He understands. Diego Lopez is a smart fighter. He is young. He is fast. He is bigger. The reach advantage, he doesn't have too much. I think it's about an inch reach on the hands. But when I look at his leg reach, 41 to 36. And he's nasty with those kicks too. So for me, when you look at that and you look at, his significant strikes, this could be all over the place. But a lot of people are just saying this 5-round fight is going to be too much for him. And they think that that's where Volk catches up with him. His experience, when it goes the distance, it is going to favor Volk. What do you think about that?
I mean, my thing is, look what Volk did to my favorite fighter of all time, which is Max Holloway. 3 fights in a row.
Yeah.
Decimated this man. Made him look like awful. Made one of the best fighters of all time look terrible.
You did. And you bring that up, in both of these knockouts right here are both around plus 600, plus 650. So this is backing what you're saying.
I don't think this ends before a decision at all.
No.
I think it goes the distance, and I think Volk wins. I think Volk wins 4 rounds to 1.
So of course the distance is a plus 130. And to not go the distance is a negative 1.6. On the fact, and this is going to be one of those things when we said earlier when we were looking at the total rounds, they're only doing a total rounds of 3.5. So I think FanDuel and DraftKings are catching on to these fights because honestly, I'm going to say it. They've been putting up these fights DFS wise and bets for a very long time, but they're really into it now because when they throw the 4.5 up, people are cashing on them and they're catching on. They did the same thing to the tackles on the IDP side for football over the past couple of years, and now it's gone to the point where they don't even offer total tackles until the game starts because they can't gauge IDP correctly. And that's where people like me have a distinct advantage over the sports books, and no, they don't offer it for DFS, but we have a distinct advantage. That's why they took that away. This, again, when you get the under 3.5, they're trying to say that it won't happen. But for me, I'm saying Diego Lopes goes balls out. It's going under. And I don't care who gets knocked out.
Wow.
I know somebody's knocking somebody out. What do you think? Knockouts plus 100.
I don't think a knockout's happening in this fight. I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's play it. We're going to go up to decision because I love. So first, we're going to play these. So check these bets right now. Under 3.5 rounds and a knockout is a plus 135 for this fight as a 2-leg parlay. So that right there tells you that you get the pluses on both sides. It doesn't matter who wins in under 3.5 rounds. It gives you enough money to cover what we're about to get into because I know Dan's about to take me down crazy lane. So it's going the distance. All right, so that means if we're going to go the distance, that's a plus 130. You're going right now, of course, Volk. The money line on Volk it's a negative 138 as opposed to Diego Lopes plus 108. That right there gives you practically a double return plus 200 on that right there. So if you do Volk distance, you get plus 200. And I mean, regardless of which way you go, you're going to get that positive money. If you go in and put a unit under distance alone as a single bet and then play both parlays, you'll break even. Yep. So if this goes a distance, then right there, you're covered both ways no matter what fighter wins. Then you bop down to my crazy ass and you take my crazy little thing and then you throw it in. And that's how you get that bang. So you're going Volk, dude.
I am. I'm going Volk.
All right. And I'm going Lopes. I was Volk all week long. It was something about Lopes that really got me. And for that's why I'm jumping at it.
He's a stud.
I just want the fishes. I want the finish. Finishes are great for DFS. So do you have a super bold pick for either this fight? Like, if you think something crazy is going to happen, I mean, you think it's going to distance, so that's already giving you the positives. But something bold from one of the fights that we talked about, other than what you gave out already, that's off the wall, that could be massive points. Give me something. I know you don't see everything in that.
Patty Pimblett submits Chandler the first round.
Ooh. I don't think anybody really is thinking that one. I mean, but I like that. I mean, everybody mostly is going to have a bet on it. But if we're going to go method and round combo, 5, and we got Patty Pimblett, number one, round 1 submission is a plus 750. It's like 750 is the number for Patty.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
What is this? It's the luck of the Irish.
It is.
Scottish.
It is. All right, I'll give you one more. Then.
Okay.
How about Jim Miller, second round knockout?
Oh, dude. You and this Jim Miller dude, man. You just really like, and the whole thing is that was funny because that was like, you couldn't have get more like old school name versus new school name than this fight than Jim Miller or Chase Hooper. Hooper. So, all right, so you're saying
Jim Miller, second round knockout.
Plus 4,900. Oh, man. You know what? There it is. I'm I'm a degenerate. Just
That's
chalk me up.
That's my bet.
$50 for a dollar. I mean, $10 is going to win you $500, people. And you got it here on Bring the Pain from Dan. So, of all these crazy fights, I was looking around trying to see, just like you were, the craziest thing that would be probably would be up there with you, but is actually something that can actually happen. Well, I mean, not saying that yours can't happen because you want to get all wild, but I'm going Mitch Raposo. He's going to submit Samarji, or did I say that right? Sumadarji,
yeah.
Sumadarji, first and second round has a plus 1,000. Second and third round, which is what I'm going, is a plus 500. It isn't as cool as Dan's, but I think that a lot of people having Mitch Raposo as the dog and are torn on this fight. So for me, if you were looking to fight which way I was leaning for this fight, I'm going Raposo because this fight is so close. And with Sumadarji, I need more coffee. Yes, we all know. His first name's Sue. We're going to call him Sue. So, with that being said, yeah, that's it. But really, outside of that, there's the crazy... You pick... I think Jim Miller, is that pick right there is probably the craziest. Other than maybe if we go to it and we want to look at it and then they are offering it right here, it would be Haley Cowan, second, third round knockout plus 2,900. And her submission is a plus 1,400. So they're trying to get you to go with that submission. But for me, if you I'm gonna throw a half a unit on that to try to win. If you put down $1, you're gonna win. Half. You're gonna win like $14.50. So for me, that's the fight nobody cares about. Nobody cares about that fight. But don't get it wrong. Nora Knoll is going to win that fight. So
I agree.
That's it. All right, Dan. Everything is looking good. We got the bets in, but I have a DFS lineup. So everybody get ready for your DFS lineup. The pricing on DraftKings was really, really, really close. So Volk being 8,200 and Lopes being 8,000 really makes it. And they do that a lot with their main events. They put them in the middle. So with that being said, I'm going Tulio, Jandiroba, Lopes, Raposo. Oh, somebody was doing their Raposo. We're going Sean Woodson, and we're going Yari Rodriguez. And I know that's going to make you happy. This lineup was, when I was making it, it was falling into kind of a category to where, so when I got to the Rodriguez part, there was a point that I was looking at, Dominique Reyes is too. So instead of going with Reyes, I went with Raposo because I feel that Raposo has a better chance against Sue than Reyes does against Krylov. So you can get Raposo for 7,300, and he's the sixth lowest on the board. Whereas when you have to go up to Krylov, again, 8,800, that makes it. So so of all the lower guys, I'm going to name all six. You give me, or I'll do all seven, and you give me which one gets the win. Reyes, Raposo, Dumas, Mitchell, Gore, Elkins, Miller.
Well, I'm going with Miller.
Okay. All right. So.
And I'll go with Elkins.
He's going Elkins.
I'll go Darren Elkins.
All right. So Dan is going to we're making a second DFS lineup. So since Dan decided to take the two most cheapest players on this thing, we can go Tulio, we can go Silva, we can go Yari, and we have 9,500 for Orosa. But since you picked Elkins, that would lead it to either Sue, which we're not picking, or you can pick Sue at this point, or Krylov. So for me, what do you like out of that? What do you like? You like? Well, you're not picking a Rosa. There's Olasejik. He's in there too. He's $9,000. Of course, he's fighting Dumas, and of course, recently Michael Olasejik, if I'm saying that correctly, sorry, don't kill me. I know he's off of 3 straight losses, but he has been also running. He's also been working with the Fighting Nerds so that he gets a lot of his grappling game back. So that being said, because that's how he's had no control time. So of all those guys, who are you thinking? You think it's Sue?
Oh, man, I think it's Sue. I do. I think it's Sue.
So with that, you would have $600 left over, and then you could come off of, so you have your Yari, you have your Sue, you have Silva. Do you like Silva? And then you have Elkins, Miller, and Tulio.
I do like Silva. I think Silva's going to win.
And do you like Tulio?
I do.
That's Marco Tulio. Yeah.
Yeah, Marco Tulio.
Marco Tulio.
Yeah, I like Tulio too.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't mind it. I'm throwing it in. You have $600 left over. Now for me, if I was to take this lineup, so I love where you went with this. I love how you made it, how you put it together. But for me, the double dog, so I would take out Elkins, put me at 7,500, and that puts me at Pitbull versus Rodriguez. So when I do Pitbull versus Rodriguez, I come off of Rodriguez, I slip down to either Cornell or Woodson. At this point, nobody likes that first fight. So I know Woodson's fighting Dan Ige.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, and you could get Patty. Patty's 8,400. So you have all three of those, or Jandaroba is 8,300. So when I look at this immediately, I would go Sean Woodson, right? So it gives you Sean Woodson, Pitbull, Miller, Sue, Tulio, and Silva. You have $200 left over. If you want to come off of Sue, go Krylov or Oleksiejczuk, then you're good. But right now, I'm going to do, I only wanted to move one of those guys, and you just got 3 DFS lineups on the Fight Club of Pain. I know it was a long one, people. We covered a lot more than we normally do. I hope that this helps you figure it out. Dan, thank you so much for coming on again and putting up with this. Man. This is great. All right, everybody. I hope you guys win some money this week. Again, just to give what's going forward is I'm going to be at a point fighting tournament this Saturday, so you're not going to be able to get a hold of me. So again, subs only Discord may be your only chance. There's going to be a lot of point fights coming up, so you're going to either have to catch the Fight Club of Pain or become a member at Dr. Roto if you want all of the insight.
Yeah, again, hey, my social medias will be coming soon, so they can get a hold of me too.
Oh yeah, dude. Yes, see that'll help unless you're at the fight, and then you can record me, and then maybe people can throw some live bets or just donate some cash to us while watching me fight, because that'd be fun as hell. All right, everybody, have a great day, everybody, and always remember to bring the pain. Oh yeah, may the fights be with you, people.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.